Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm here with Marcy with AMA Waterways. She's going to be my partner in crime as we kind of go through this. But so basically, I don't know if you've already been on some of these webinars before, but I'm trying to host these every month, focusing on new rivers and new experiences so you can get the feel of the different experiences that are offered and the different trips that you can do as a river cruise. These are one of my favorite things. I love the more intimate experiences, and the Danube that we're going to talk about today was actually my very first one. So I have a little special place in my heart for this river, and I hope that you share the same thing as we go through this and kind of see the different picturesque experiences that are offered. And then next month in May on the 13th, we'll be doing another one on the Rhine and the Mosel River, which are amazing rivers as well with beautiful castles and art and history and all that fun stuff. So hopefully you can join us on that one as well. Again, it was May 13th, and I have that on my website if you want to sign up for that version too. But with no further ado, I'll change you over to Marcy to talk about the Danube. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Thank you so much for your time. My ultimate goal is to really share with you the experience of river cruising with AMA Waterways. Our differences, there are many companies out there, but I think you've chosen the right one to attend. And so if you've got any questions, please know that you can put them under questions or chat. And I am delighted to answer those when we are all done this evening. So I am a person that speaks with my hands, so I'm going to take myself off of the camera so I don't distract you and you get to see and really go along this journey with me. So thank you so much, and we're going to get started. Okay. So we believe that traveling the rivers is very, very different than the oceans. The oceans take you to countries because the oceans actually visit the outer lying edges of these countries, the bigger cities, not so much the very quaint villages that are really located in the centers of these countries. Rivers take you through them because the rivers are the vessels and veins of these countries. We go through the center of these countries experiencing what all of the local people do. And our goal at AMA Waterways is for you to have the opportunity to immerse yourself in the local cultures, within the local regions, and really enjoy and do what the local people do each and every day. Our company, our founder, Rudy Schreiner and Christine Karst. Rudy is known as the godfather of the rivers. He is Austrian by heritage. He is an architect by trade, and he really is very special. He is also in the Cruise Line International Hall of Fame for his innovation. And he builds our ships very, very different than any other river ships. And what I mean by that is we are more shallow at the draw than any other river ship. And what that means to you as a guest is very important. The rivers come three ways. They come low water, high water, and perfect water. And we'd love to say Mother Nature's always on our side with the perfect water, but not always. So as you can imagine, it's quite difficult to travel in a ship in low water. In 2018, we had some very challenging years on the Rhine and the Danube River because we had no rain and we had very low water levels. And we were the only river line that had absolutely no cancellations. And we operated in 11 inches of water on these beautiful rivers. Christine Karst is from Germany, and she is very, very engaged with our advisors and our onboard guests, and really is a beautifully passionate person and brings to the forefront a lot of experience. And then we have the Murphy family, and the Murphy family used to own a land-based company known as Brendan Worldwide Tours. You may know them. And when they sold Brendan Worldwide Tours, they decided to join Rudy and Christine. And their forte, if you will, was really the packaging of these tours, because they actually traveled back and forth to Europe with their company and their knowledge. So together they put this beautiful company together in 2002. So now I want to tell you a little bit about the different rivers. And tonight we're going to focus on the Danube. So I'll just go through these rather quickly, but I do want you to know that there are options. So this is the Danube River, starting in the Netherlands, going all the way downstream, all the way to Bulgaria. This is the only river in Western Europe that has a consecutive 14-day sailing. We can do 14 days, 21 days in different countries, but we just have to back up those 7-day sailings. This river, the topography of this river is very lush, very green, very mountainous, lots of palaces on this river. And as well, you do have some more history on this river. And then we have the Rhine River, and it runs a very close second to the Danube, almost being first as well. And this is going to take you from Switzerland all the way up into the Netherlands. And the Rhine River is very it's very mountainous, but it's more of the rocky type mountains. And the Rhine has more castles than you're going to find on most of the other rivers. Then you have over here the Seine River, and this is known as the River of the Arts. We visit Monet's home, Monet's gardens in Giverny. We go over to the beautiful city of Honfleur. We go to Le Havre, which is an amazing seaport city. And the really special part is we go all the way down to the beaches of Normandy. And then we have another itinerary. I'm sure you all have heard of it. And this is known as Bordeaux. On the Garonne and the Dordogne rivers, coming in off the Gironde estuary off the Atlantic, a beautiful, beautiful rivers, but quite short, as you can see. So we do a lot of beautiful wine tasting at the old world chateaus on this one. And then you come down here and we have the Douro River, and the Douro River is through Portugal and Spain. And this is a beautiful way to see this part of the country. Portugal's infrastructure is a little bit different than most of the other areas of Europe, in that Europe's main source of transportation is train. And in Portugal, they just got their first high-speed train in 2019. So an absolutely beautiful region. This area was established about 2,000 years ago with the explosion of a volcano. So it is very, very mountainous, very steep mountains. And this is one of the areas in the world where they grow the finest white grape, which produces the finest port wines in the world. Then you come over here to the Rhone River. The Rhone River is in the area of France where you see all the beautiful lavender fields and the sunflower fields. So as you can imagine, the landscape is magnificent. We visit a couple of the larger cities in France, and believe it or not, a larger city in France is only 68,000 people. But this area has a lot of history in the fact that it is known as one of the finest areas in the world for gastronomy. And if you've ever had a Côte du Rhône wine, this is the region that it comes from, some of the finest wines in the world as well. We just added a new itinerary where we're traveling up the Saône River as well. She is a very ladylike river, very narrow, lots of beautiful, beautiful villages, and we take you all the way up into Dijon. Yes, that's where the mustard fields are. So beautiful opportunity there as well. Then you have the Mosel, and we're going to spend time on this next month. And the Mosel, as you can see, is quite a short river, but let me tell you, this river, the easiest way for me to describe this river is magical. It looks like something out of a Disney book, and they have the colored little villages along the water's edge, and you look up and there's just this splash of a magnificent castle on each bend. And the river's very curvy, very mountainous, very beautiful. So we include it with the Main Canal and the Rhine, or the Main Canal and the Danube, being able to offer 7, 10, and 11-day itineraries. Then we move on to our exotics. And our exotics are going to be the Nile River. There's been a huge demand for the Nile River. We're very excited about this itinerary. It is new for us this year, starting in September. This is an 11-day journey. And you can also visit Israel, Jordan, or Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, but really one of a kind. Then we have Southeast Asia. and we have it on the Mekong River in the Mekong Delta. And we visit one, just a magnificent city called Siem Reap. And Siem Reap has one of the 7 wonders of the world, known as Angkor Wat, which is the Palace of the King. This area, this year, for the first time, we are offering you a Thailand extension. So you visit Vietnam, Cambodia, and then you can extend up to Thailand as well. And then we have Africa, and not many people think of Africa by water, but I really hope you will. If you see this river right here, this is the Chobe River, and the Chobe River is a natural spring-fed river in South Africa, and they set aside 5,000 acres for the preservation of the African elephant because we were losing the breed due to poaching. It is very safe in that area. There is no poaching, and so Mother Nature had all of the animals migrate to that area. And you can see one of everything up close and personal. We have 5 different itineraries for Africa. If Africa is on your bucket list, I want you to do it sooner rather than later. And the reason I say that is because it does take a little bit of mobility to get around Africa. So one of the very important things about AMA Waterways is we dock in the heart of the cities, which creates a seamless experience for embarkation and disembarkation. And it also is wonderful because, you know, you're in this beautiful luxury floating resort, and it is only a block to 2 blocks out of the city center or the city market plots, which is where everything takes place in the area. So you can come and go to the ship as often as you would like, never have to get a transfer. You can just walk into the city. And we are the only domestic river line that operated during COVID. And I think it's important that you know that. We operated from the 5th of July through the 2nd week of November, carrying over 1,700 passengers. And we operated with no incidents whatsoever. So our protocols in place are face masks for our crew members and face masks periodically for our guests, meaning from their stateroom to their destination or from one destination to the other destination on the ship, then they remove them. We do a temperature check in the mornings as they're leaving their stateroom and another one in the afternoons as they're returning back in after their tours. These ships are built very different than the large ships in that we have a clean air system. Our clean air system is not recycling the air throughout the ship. Every stateroom, every lounge area, every hallway, every restaurant has its own system. And so what we're doing is pulling the air from outside, we're sending it to that one small area, and we're sending it right back outside again. So you are continuously breathing fresh air. And then we have the exploring the shore. So we've always had the smallest groups really on the river, anywhere to about 20 people per guide. Now we're bringing those down to 12 to 14 people per guide, which is really important. We have competitors out there that will take 65 people in a group, and you have no way to even be able to immerse yourself with the guides and in the area. But we want you to explore with these guides because the guides are from the region and they grew up in these areas and they have wonderful knowledge to share with you. And social distancing for us is not a problem. Our 135-meter ships, we only board approximately 160 people. Some of our competitors will board up to 192. And so we have plenty of space to spread out for our guests. And then sanitized luggage. So we sanitize the luggage twice before it ever reaches the stateroom. Once upon arrival outside of the ship, once again, and then we deliver it to the staterooms to make sure that the safety of our guests is top of mind and our crew members. Here is something that we did on the ships that operated during COVID. We put these nice dividers in our lounge areas so you can still enjoy each other, but you still have that privacy, and it puts the safety protocol in place. Our award-winning ships, very important. Berlitz is a travel writer. They have been writing travel for, oh my goodness, I would say approximately 50 years. And they rank and rated AMA Waterways, giving us 1 through 10 in the top categories to be the best experience you'll ever have in Europe. And that is based on many, many many categories. So it's based on our well-appointed staterooms, the fact that we have double balconies. This is a French balcony. This is a step-out balcony with tables and chairs. You can open the doors, enjoy the fresh air of the river, not be in the elements here. And here you can close the door behind you to control the temperature in your stateroom and really get to enjoy the beautiful viewing of the river. And then this I put in here because it is absolutely, I think, one of the most beautiful pictures of a ship. But we have one ship that is very exclusive to the rivers, and there is only one of these on the rivers. And again, we are known for our innovation, and this is known as the AMA Magna. The ship is double the width of any other river ships, with 4 dining venues rather than 2, and the stateroom starting at 355 square feet, with the largest wellness center of any river ship and the pool and hot tub area on the top deck. So complimentary Wi-Fi and the AMA Cruise app, very important. So the Wi-Fi on board all of our ships is complimentary. You have a full computer in your stateroom, or you may download on your iPad or your tablet or your phone the AMA Cruiser app. And the AMA Cruiser app is so much fun. What it does is every morning when we arrive in the city or village that we're going to visit that day, up pops a postcard. You can send a message to your friends, your family, and send it right out to your entire email database. And when doing that, I'll tell you, it allows people at home to follow you on the river, because you can also create a photo album so they know each day they can watch you and see the beautiful sights that you were able to visit. Every day we have a sip and sail cocktail hour. So we have in the mornings, we serve champagne and fresh mimosas at breakfast. At lunch and dinner, we have wines that are hand selected from each region. So they change every day, as does your dining menu. We want you to immerse yourself in that local culture. We want you to go through that destination. So it changes every day based on where we are. And then in addition to that, we have an open cocktail hour every evening before dinner. So if you don't like wines, you don't like beers, or you don't like champagnes or mimosas, you may certainly enjoy something from the bar area. We also, as you're looking at this beautiful, lovely person here, we do something at AMA Waterways, which is very different than any other river line, and that is our cruise managers travel with you land, river, land. Now, what that means to you, and I'm going to show you some pictures of some of the land excursions that you can do on the Danube, but hypothetically, let's say that you're on the Danube, and I'm going to tell you, you do not want to miss the most beautiful medieval city anywhere, and that is Prague in the Czech Republic. So we're going to pick you up at the airport. We're going to take you to your hotel. This beautiful person called a cruise manager is going to meet you at the hotel, and they are going to travel with you. They're going to make your dinner reservations. They're going to do anything you need them to do to make sure this vacation is seamless. Exchange currency, share ideas, whatever it may be. And then they're going to go on the river with you, and then downstream, they're going to get off at the other end, and they're going to do your post extension with you. And this is very important because it really allows us to maintain that 5-star level of service that we offer. And here you go. This just shows you again a little bit of the champagnes that we might be having. We also have a welcome reception with all of this. Sodas are also complimentary during the meal hours, but we also have a coffee cafe. And so you have cappuccino, latte, espresso, the finest hot chocolate, an international tea station, all of these things available to you 24 hours a day. Our personalized small groups, as I mentioned, very important. But one of the most important things with our groups, number one, they're smaller. But number two, we break them down by ability. So we have gentle walkers, regular walkers, and active walkers. And our gentle walkers in a city of 5 things may see 2. Our regular walkers will see 3 or 4, and our active walkers will see all 5. In addition to that, we have what we call a late risers program. And that is that you can sleep in an extra hour and leave the ship at 10 o'clock to go to your tour rather than 9. We offer up to 6 tours per day. Very important for you to know, because many of the lines out there only offer you 1 tour a day, and then you have to pay for your additional tours. Our active adventures, and with the active adventures, we also offer 6 additional tours per day. But we have 25 7-speed bicycles on the ships. We have 21 bicycling tours. We have 33 hiking tours. We also have something called special interest tours. And these are going to be tours that include some type of a culinary experience. Pretzel baking, wine tasting, torte making, chocolate making and tasting, truffle hunting, you name it. It just depends on the region that we're in and what that region is known for. But these, again, are all complimentary to our guests. Christine is very passionate about our wellness program. So we have a wellness instructor on all of our ships, with the exception of Africa. They do 5 classes a day, anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. These are all complimentary. They will do core stretching, cardio, Zumba, yoga. We do sometimes some dancing. We do all different ones, and it's important because many people in their daily lives include this as part of their routine, and we want them to feel like part of our family and feel the comforts at home when they are on our ships. This gives you an idea. We are the only ones that have swimming pools. So if you can imagine, the sun is setting and the pools are heated, so they are open year-round. The sun is setting on these beautiful mountains. You've got the lights coming up on the castles and the palaces, and you're having something lovely to drink, and you're just enjoying your day very peacefully and very relaxing. And very important, our health conscious Epicurean experiences. So we have, of course, the main dining room, and as I mentioned, the menu changes every single day based on the region, but we also have a secondary restaurant, and this is known as the chef's table. And the chef's table is a 9-course meal paired with the wines of the regions. Each plate is prepared all at the moment for the guest, and you must make reservations for this. It holds 24 to 28 people, and it is completely complimentary. So please, as you're traveling with us, don't miss the chef's table experience. It's amazing. So now I'm going to take us to the Danube. Okay, so the Danube, as I mentioned, is the longest, largest river in Western Europe. And, you know, it doesn't really matter if you go upstream or downstream. I know sometimes on rivers, people think, well, I have to go with the current. No, you don't. Believe me, you won't even know that you're sailing. I've had people on board say to me, are we moving? I said, well, I don't know. Look outside. It's that calm. That's the beautiful part about river cruising. But what we're going to do is we're going to start in Budapest, and we're going to go upstream through Bratislava, all these beautiful cities. And then we're going to come up here to Prague. So I'm going to take you on a journey. So let's start in Budapest. And Budapest, of course, is in Hungary. And Hungary, I don't know if you know, but Hungary is known for its paprika. So there is over 200 types of paprika grown in Hungary. And it really is unmatched to the combination of cultures and architecture. What you're looking at right here is the Parliament of Budapest, and I have to tell you, the Parliament is one of the most beautiful places in Europe, especially at sunset. So you're going to get to see it at sunset. It lights up like you have never seen anything light up. It's magical. And we also here in Budapest visit the Great Market Hall, and that is like their shopping market, but their shopping market has one of everything. They only go one place. So it has everything from suitcases to sweaters to scarves to paprika to fish to meat to whatever you might need under one roof and 4 stories high. It's spectacular. You also have the opportunity to take a funicular to the old town of Budapest, Buda actually. So Budapest, if you're not aware, one side of the river is Buda and the other side is Pest, and we visit both. And then we have Bratislava, and I love Bratislava. This is one, isn't it look medieval? It really is medieval when you get into it. Look at this old wall surrounding the city that was the protection of the city in the day. It is the capital city of Slovakia. This is where they hosted the crowning ceremonies of 11 Hungarian kings from 1536 to 1830. And it is surrounded by vineyards and mountains, and you're looking right here at one of the beautiful castles that they have. It's the old town of Bratislava, which is where we visit, is from the 18th century, and it's known for its very unique little boutique cafes and little shopping areas. And then we go to Vienna. And Vienna is known, of course, as the city of waltzes. It offers the majestic opera house and the former imperial palace of the Habsburgs, which was a very, very prominent family throughout Europe. But this is the Hofburg Palace, and this is one of the palaces that we see and visit. And it's got, I have to tell you, the history over there and the architecture. Look at these magnificent carvings that you see all along the building. It's like this everywhere you go. This is Schönbrunn Palace, and we do visit Schönbrunn Palace as well. It is phenomenal. It's hard to believe that at one point a family lived in this, if you can even imagine. But the gardens in the summertime are magnificent, and as the winter and fall set in, everything is changing the colors. It is magical. And then we take a journey through the Wachau Valley. It's about 26 miles. And the Wachau Valley is this gorgeous, what you're looking at here is actual footage of the valley. So we do this in the middle of the day because we don't want you to miss these beautiful, beautiful sights. So as we're traveling, we're telling you about the villages, we're telling you about the cities, we're telling you the history of the many, many cathedrals that you see along the way, and you're traveling in this gorgeous terrain. It's an absolutely spectacular journey. And then we come upon what we call Weisenkirchen or Grein, or we actually do a tour of Dürnstein, but we dock in Weisenkirchen. So Dürnstein is one of my favorite places. And I've probably said that about every city because every one of them is my favorite place. But we visit Dürnstein. The city was established in 1410. And you've got a castle up here on the hill. This is really the remnants of the castle. This was where one of the kings was captured and lived out his life. But Dürnstein is beautiful because it's very small. And you can see over here, look how beautiful the vineyards are. And then you've got another castle over here. So they're just scattered amongst the landscape. We do a beautiful city tour in Dürnstein, and Dürnstein is quite small. So we walk through the city, and then we have another option for you that you can pick and choose from. And then we go from Dürnstein to, this is the beautiful, one of my favorite places in Europe again. This is the Abbey. This is the Abbey in Melk, Austria. And the Abbey will be going down the river, and all of a sudden you look up and you see this magnificent structure above you, and it at one time was a castle or a private home, and it was willed to the monks. It was built in the 1700s and given to the monks in 1762 only if they would create part of it as a school so that they could educate the local people. And that indeed they did. Today, there are still about 80 monks that live on the property, and they have one whole wing of the Abbey that they live in. They raise their own vineyards, they raise their own gardens, pumpkins. There's all kinds of wonderful things you can buy when you're inside the Abbey. But one of the favorite places in the Abbey, oh my goodness, what happened here? Let's do this. Uh-oh, sorry. There we go. Inside the Abbey is one of the largest theological libraries in the world. It has thousands and thousands of manuscripts. And it is 7 stories high. It is probably one of the most magnificent places you will ever see in any of your journeys, but it is really, really spectacular. And we do a tour through the library and through the Abbey. We go through the chapel. You get to see the whole thing. It is so spectacular. And the history is simply amazing. And then, of course, you get to go to the top of the Abbey and take beautiful photos of the entire region around you. And then we travel into Linz. And Linz is this quaint little city, has a couple of streets that many of these cities in Europe, the streets all lead to one central place called Marktplatz or city center. And Linz is no different. It's like that. You can see the little streets over here, the narrow streets leading to the city center. But Linz is going to give you the opportunity. We dock in Linz, and you can either stay in Linz or you're going to have the opportunity for a couple of different tours. But I'm going to suggest to you that you do Salzburg. Salzburg, as we know, we have a full day optional tour, and on some of our itineraries, we do a half day. I really think you should do the full day because this is what's going to happen. On our way to Salzburg, we are going to stop in a small city called Mondsee. It is in the Austrian Lake District. It literally has one street in and one street out, and it is the most beautiful little village. And this is where Maria got married in The Sound of Music. And we do a tour of the chapel, and then we give you free time to just explore this unique little city. And then we take you on to Salzburg. And in Salzburg, we do the steps and stages of The Sound of Music. So you get to see everything that took place through the gardens, where they hid out, all of these beautiful, beautiful things, the castles. It is a magnificent little city with lots of little narrow streets. It does have one big city center, and you have vendors there, food vendors many times, lots of beautiful shopping, just a lot of wonderful, wonderful things that Salzburg offers, as well as Mozart's home, Mozart's museum. So you really have, this is one, I think, of one of the best tours that you can possibly do. And as you can see, you're nestled amongst the Alps. And I think that is so spectacular. And then we go into Passau. And Passau is known as the city of 3 rivers. The Danube, the Inn, and the Ilz River all meet right here in this little city. And as you can see, the bridges connect the city to the villages and to the castles of the olden times. But Passau is really unique in that it has a lot of Italian Baroque architecture and a lot of Gothic architecture. And it has, as you can see, this is the 13th century fortress up here. The other thing that is really fun that we do in Passau is, you know, they start their German Fest in Oktoberfest in September, and we have an Oktoberfest every week in this beautiful city. So we invite you to our Oktoberfest, which is right at our docking area. And we have this fantastic set of entertainment that comes. We do the beer tasting like they do at a regular Oktoberfest. We have the pretzel tasting. We do some traditional dancing. It is a beautiful celebration, and you feel like you are right in the heart of Oktoberfest. And then we have the option of moving on to Regensburg. And this is going to be a land excursion. Remember, I mentioned to you that you could go on to Prague. Well, we stop in this beautiful little city of Regensburg, again, where the cities are all connected, many of them with these old medieval 1,000-year-old bridges. And Regensburg is known, its bridges are known for the locks. And what that means is if you got married here, or if you were vacationing here, it was your honeymoon, you took a padlock and you put it on the bridge. And they have these metal, protectors on the bridge. You locked it, and that meant that your relationship was locked forever. And if it wasn't locked forever, you had to come back and find your lock and take it off. So that wasn't going to happen because there's about 5,000 locks on these bridges. But it's just really a cute part of Regensburg. And it's a beautiful village. And we visit the beautiful cathedral right here that you see, and we do all throughout the city. And then we take you into the Czech Republic. And this is what I call my city of medieval bridges, because you can see right here that it connects the neighborhoods to the old town of Prague. And you see how many bridges there are. Look at all of them. And the whole city lines with these bridges. And you can see this one right here. This is a walking bridge. So people can walk on this. There is no cars allowed on this one. This one is a walking and a drive bridge. Many of them are. But Prague to me is one of the most beautiful medieval cities you will ever see. It is clean. It is prestigious. It is the capital city of the Czech Republic. It's known for its spires. Look at all the spires. See them? And this is just one glance at how many spires. This is one of the cities that was undamaged during the war and used to be Czechoslovakia. And then it split in 1993 and became the Czech Republic. There is only 10.5 million people that live in this entire country. And it's about the size of South Carolina, if you can imagine. And there's only 1.3 million that live in Prague. So as you can see, it's spread out amongst the beautiful mountains. It is one of the 10 safest cities in the world to live in. So it's very clean, very pristine, very, very much medieval, fantastic food. The other thing to remember about this city is that the Charles Bridge right here, as I'm showing you a minute ago, all the people are walking. The Charles Bridge was built in 1357. And look at it, still here and still very, very functional. Most of the other bridges are up to 300 years old. So you've got, it's just an amazing place for history. The food. The other thing is that you have what they don't buy into the euro per se. They have their own currency called the korone. And the korone is very, very good against the US dollar. You get a lot for your money here. So I really hope that when you're visiting on the Danube, you'll take a little extra time and come and see the beautiful city of Prague, because it is exceptional. And there's a night view of Prague. Isn't that beautiful? And I call it my city, my medieval city, because all of this really was built to connect the two parts of the city, but also to protect the city from the river rising and falling. And there is the Prague Castle that you can see here. It was built in the 9th century. It's the largest castle complex in the world. I love this picture. I really miss Prague. Of course, I miss all of them, as all of us do. So here is the information you need, excuse me, to make your booking, to determine which river is the best for you. Haley can help you with whatever you need to know, and is available to you at all times. And you know, maybe you're not sure what you want to do. She can give you the insight. She has really studied a lot and been to the rivers. So depending upon what you want, she can certainly book that just to exceed your expectation, which is really our ultimate goal, is to help you with that vacation that's a dream and make that come true for you. Okay, let me check for chat to see if we have any questions. I don't see any questions. If you can think of any questions and you want to ask now, please do. Remembering that the rivers and wine continue to flow and AMA Waterways is always ready to go, meaning that we are waiting for the European Union to open up our countries so that we can sail again. And we really feel confident that's going to happen this summer. So if you've gotten your shots, wonderful. If you haven't, you might want to consider it. I don't know that we will ever request the shot, but maybe these airlines that have to get us there will. So please wear your mask, be safe, and let the world open up so we can journey out to see all of these beautiful places again.
Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate your time and joining us tonight, and look for you next month.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Hope to
Bye.
see you on the river soon.